おはようございます。今日は10時に Irving でホテルに行きます。Pretty much saying at 10 o'clock I'm going to be heading to work for the week, Shigoto. We are going to be gone Sunday through Thursday this week, and we got about a 3.5 hour drive ahead of us. I do not know what my cat is eating right now. Hey, stop that. That is a leaf that you do not need to eat. But our plan is today we have 3.5 hour drive. I took a picture of the vocab I need to learn. I got at least one page down. So we're going to be working on that on the road up, and I'm going to be listening to some listening comprehension and some Japanese voice rooms for like an hour to like kind of train my ears. Then we got to go grocery shopping when we are there. We got to do a Bible study tonight. So we have a packed day. So the sooner we get on the road, the better. But today's more of our chill day. Get back into the groove of things. I'm still a little sick. I still got a stuffy nose, so I got to make sure I got some remedies going. And we're right back at it tomorrow. So I'll see you guys when I get on the road. All right, y'all. We have made it to our hotel for the week. We are going to be around Irving this week. We've got a full week of meetings, so we're going to be pretty busy throughout the day. Unfortunately, though, I will be close to a gym that I usually go to, so it's going to take some time that I could get back and my travel back and forth between the gym, because especially in Dallas, when it gets after 5 o'clock, a 10-minute drive turns into like a 20-minute drive, and it just drives me crazy all the time I spend driving. So I got a hotel a little bit closer to the gym this time, which will be a little bit easier. Now, we will still be doing some studying this evening. I got laundry in right now. I got to make some rice and get some food ready. But we actually already did a lot of studying. So we spent 4 hours today going over pitch accent. I digress. So we're going to be changing how we're studying Japanese. I know it's only been like, a week, and there's already a change. So the main thing that's going to change is nothing really serious right now, but I'm going to go back from the start and learn all the vocab all over again. Because today when I was trying to do some practice, speaking practice at the house, I was like looking at the recording, I'm like, oh wow, I sound pretty crappy. How do I fix that? And I think what I was doing is I was reading these words and like pronouncing them how I perceived they were pronounced, maybe watching a couple of videos, but I wasn't really taking into account how English and Japanese are different. So I started following this guy on YouTube, Dojin, which is, he has his own course on just like pitch practice. And I pretty much watched the whole entire drive all the way from the Austin area up to Dallas. So I got a full idea of how I want to restructure my Japanese practice. Because I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, what's the long-term goal? The long-term goal is to eventually speak conversational Japanese, be able to go to Japan and, talk with locals, enjoy the area, and even talk to people online where I could start practicing. But if I saw it as like an end game where I'm only trying to get to the end as fast as possible, I would have continued what I was doing right now. I'm just learning all the vocab, learning the grammar, doing my best to speak, and just like rolling with it. But what I think I'm gonna do is take a giant step back, and honestly, it's gonna make this progress a whole lot slower, unfortunately, but I don't really mind because this isn't like there's not really an end in sight. If the goal is fluency, why would I not give as much attention to while I'm starting on every single detail of speaking compared to just trying to do my best speaking and just say, oh, okay, if that's it, that's fine. So what I'm going to be doing now is I got a new binder to where I'm going to be going back through all my vocab, and instead of just learning the word, which I think this is actually going to solidify the vocab words in my head even more, which is going to be great because it's going to add to my memory. But I'm actually going to be going through the pitch accent of every single word. Just because I want to be able to sound a lot more, or I don't want to sound foreign by the time I know Japanese and can speak Japanese. And there usually is a pretty big foreign accent because everyone's just learning the words and going through it compared to taking time to actually learn how to pronounce each word, how each particle sounds at the end of the word, is it a high pitch or is it a low pitch tone, and go through that process. So I think that's going to add a lot more time on to me actually going through these sections, because if the goal is fluency and to sound fluent and to have conversations, I decided I'm just not going to rush myself. So if a chapter takes, 2 to 3 weeks or a month, I mean, it is what it is. I want to be able to leave that chapter understanding everything I learned, on top of understanding the grammar, and be able to put it in proper sentences with proper pronunciation. So I think that's where we're going to be going from here. And just to put that an example of what I mean by this, like for instance, chapter 3. Currently I'm on chapter 3. I know a lot of the vocab words. I know the grammar vaguely, and I know the ideas of it. So in a perfect world, I could say, okay, if I took a test, I would probably understand this and ace this, and then move on to the next chapter. And that's typically what I would have done in the past, and I think why I got burned out. Where now that I'm thinking about it is, I'm adding on like immersion. So like there's a bunch of YouTube videos on chapter 3 only of conversations. And I'm listening to them, I'm like, I don't fully comprehend this, nor can I make these sentences on my own right now. So why would I move on from that chapter onto the next chapter when I don't fully grasp and understand what I've already learned? So I think the end goal of each chapter is not only be able to know all the words, know how the pitches sound, know how the pitch sounds in the sentence and how it connects to other words, and know the grammar, but be able to take all the words I've learned so far and just be able to make sentences on my own without hesitation. So a lot more practice on maybe spending 30, 40 minutes a day just either writing or just building sentences and saying them out loud over and over again until my brain starts understanding how the grammar structure works. So I don't have to sit here thinking like, oh, kyo wa juji ni hoteru de shigoto ni iku. So like, that's how like it would sound because I have to think through every sentence. But like if I know everything I want to say ahead of time, it would like process a lot faster. So like one of the sentences I was practicing last night was Kyo wa ju ni ji Tokyo de shigoto ni iku. So it sounds a lot more flowy, but all that pitch is probably wrong. And when I was listening to all my voice recording, that's where I realized where I'm like, all right, let's take a step back. So now I'm using some of the course from Dojin. I don't know if I'm even saying that right. I'm going to be going through the lessons again and taking notes, but I'm going to spend at least like 30 minutes a day going through all my vocab, adding the pitches in, and figuring out how they actually sound in a sentence. And we're going to go all the way back to chapter 1. We're going to redo all the vocab for chapter 1, all the grammar, same for chapter 2 and chapter 3. So it's going to be probably the same thing. Chapter 1 and 2 are going to go pretty quick because I have a pretty good understanding. This is changing how I actually pronunciate words and put them in sentences. And then we'll slowly be back into chapter 3. So I think that's going to be my goal now, is spending a lot of time and most of my focus on actually learning the pitch accent, how it flows, and how it sounds and speaking, compared to spending a lot of my time of just adding on as many vocab words as possible and getting through it as fast as possible. So that's my plan going forward. It's pretty late here already. What time is it? Ima wa juji gopun desu. So that's no. It would be ima. See, this is what I'm saying. Like it doesn't ima wa ropuji jupun desu. So it's 6:10. We're gonna get a protein shake in us. We're gonna eat a muffin. I'm gonna finish up laundry, and then we're gonna get to some studies and relax a little bit. But that's my plan. And the last thing I'm adding on that was recommended in the videos is finding a good Japanese drama or a movie that I could rewatch constantly over and over and over and over again at night, whether it's like 20 minutes and 30 minutes, not necessarily anime, because anime pronunciation isn't the same pitch accent as regular people would use, but like a drama that I could pretty much get to the point where everyone has that movie where they know exactly what line comes next. I want to do the same thing with that drama so I could understand the pitch accent a little bit better and train my ears to hear what that actually sounds like so I could implement it on my own. So that's what's changed so far. So funny enough, I'm glad we're doing this early, because if I would have got through all of like N5 and then thought like, okay, I could pass the test, it's time for N4, and this whole entire time I wasn't working on my pitch, probably would have been pretty embarrassing when I actually tried to get to forming sentences and talking more. So we're taking a step back to take 3 steps forwards a lot quicker. And that's what we're going to be doing now going forward. So once I get like a proper outline, I'll probably explain what my study schedule is going to be like later this evening, how I'm going to break it up now going forward. But I'm going to get some food in me, I'm going to get a snack, and then we're going to finish up laundry and do some pitch accent training and write down some words that we're going to start relearning. But that's what we got going forward. We're in Dallas. Time for a good work week. We're going to get a lot of shit done through work, a lot of stuff done at the gym, a lot of stuff on Japanese training. So it's going to be a good week. I am about to do some work on my Anki deck. So I still have, I'm probably going to go through all of like my chapter 1 words right now and start just adding them into my Anki. So that's going to be a lot of stuff I have to do on my phone. So I'm not going to do as much time lapse with it, but if I had to imagine, I probably have about maybe another 45 more minutes of studying, actually going through a pitch for each word. What we pretty much went through on this one is the pitch accent basics, the rules that we need to follow, and the 4 patterns. So the Heiban, Otanaka, Atamataka, Daka, and Odaka. I probably already mentioned all the pitches on each of those words. But pretty much it's just a way to know exactly how the words are going to go with their pitch. So that way when I am forming sentences, it's not sounding weird if a particle say wa, like if I'm going to say like mitsu wa, water's the particle, like mitsu wa. I want to make sure like that tonation is right, because it can either be a downtone or uptone, or it can change based off like what type of pattern it is. So now that I know these 4 patterns, I'm going to go through my Genki textbook. I have a little small notepad right here that I'm going to go through and edit all my vocab and write them down so I get practice. And then from there, I'm probably gonna just relax a little bit and lay down in bed. But that's my plan for the day. Nothing too crazy. We didn't do a grocery haul this time because we were just been traveling all day and I'm exhausted. But I want to make sure I knock this out before I go to bed. So I will catch y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.